And you're welcome back. Right, so Sister is all about you. If you have any relationship problems you'd like us to address on the show today, of course, share our opinions on, then you can reach us in various ways. Send a WhatsApp message to 054-998-6996 or send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com. Better yet, you can send, or better yet, like our Facebook page and join our growing community. We're on Facebook at Sister Live. All right, so check us out and join us. In the meantime, let's say hello to my sisters in the house tonight. We've got Rosina, we've got Olivia, and Tina. What's going on, girls?
Hey, we're good.
I'm fine.
You're right.
Yeah.
Week's been good. Made some money. Anyone?
No.
Care to share? I'm looking for money. Oh, giddy like that.
Yes.
More than me.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I don't think more than me.
Charlie, it will be.
Yeah.
How are you keeping though? Everything?
Oh, yeah. I was unwell last week, but I feel great.
Apioko held the fort for you very well.
I saw it in the toys and all.
Yeah. She says she likes toys.
Yeah, we all know
adult
that.
toys.
Yeah. No, Apioko, you do all.
Olivia, everything okay?
I'm good, thank you.
Great.
Everything okay, everyone okay. Yes, happy to be here so that we could, share our candid opinions. We're not experts, but share our candid opinions regarding people's troubles, and hopefully we get to help them. So yeah, happy to be here.
Super. Z.
I'm happy too.
Yeah. Z and I have been doing stuff together.
I know.
We went riding last week. It was really good.
How about this morning? You can tell people.
Oh no, this morning we were working. We didn't ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But before the
It's
it was
a weekend
Sunday
thing.
that we rode.
It's a weekend
yeah, and the breakfast.
Yeah, and had breakfast.
Yeah.
You guys should learn to ride too, and perhaps.
And then you can enjoy.
Yeah, you can
I
enjoy
will.
breakfast.
I don't
I didn't mean that kind of riding. The way you did, like.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like,
no.
I actually meant actual riding.
No, but that's not how we ride. Please.
It's
Please.
like this.
It's like that. Yeah, thank you.
Charlie,
Please, let's ride
your
away.
minds are very clean, clearly.
Let's ride away.
Let's ride away. Let's start the show. Welcome one and all once again. Remember, your comments are always welcome on the show as well. 054-998-6996. A message here from Gloria in East Legon says, "Dear sisters, I'm a young lady boss and I'm in love with my personal assistant. He's very good looking and has high Christian values. He has all I want in a man. Shall I tell him or not? Is it ethical? My friends who have seen him have asked me to make a move, but I respect myself. I'm about to go on a promotion and transfer. Shall I wait and tell him then, or am I wasting my time? Meanwhile, I'm rejecting other guys for him. Oh, please help." Wow. Okay. Personal assistance.
Yeah, it's a bit. Well, I think the policy for most companies is not to indulge with your colleagues, especially if you're in the same places where you can both endorse some kind of money and some, So if you're due for promotion and you can wait, and you're moving from that place, and he's not going to be your personal assistant anymore, or maybe it's another division altogether, maybe you should give it time, wait, and then, since you actually like him, you're single, do you know if he's single? If he is single as well, then I don't see why not, if you make that move, like when you move away from that setting, because it can be unhealthy sometimes to indulge when things can go wrong. And when they do go wrong, you don't know his emotional strength, capacity, whether he's able to do something right or not, disrespect you. After you guys get intimate, then what? So since you are the boss, most of the time, if the man is the other way around, where the man is the one on top and then the woman is down. When I say that, you get what I'm trying to say. So since you are the one in the helm of affairs, I think you should play your cards carefully and make that move. Once the move is done and you're actually actively putting people away for him, then it means that you're really interested.
Right.
Find out, do investigations whether he is
Single or
single.
not.
Yeah, before you make your move. Yeah.
Okay.
So to build on from what Tina says, once you've done your investigations, I think you should also have at the back of your mind that, I mean, it's the 21st century. Like, you like what you want, you have to go for what you want. You need to, it's all about how you go for what you want so that you don't come across as being very, very aggressive or being very desperate. And you also need to know whether he's on the same page as you are at. Because maybe you are having all of these feelings for him, but he probably doesn't even look at you like that, or is probably not into you like that. So depending on what kind of relationship you have with him, you could sort of ask him in a joking manner or in a playful manner that, I'm sensing something here. Is it me, or like, so like, what's up? And then at least because right now it looks like you're putting all your eggs in one basket when you don't even know if he likes you like that. So that's what I think that you should do. Wait when you're about to be transferred, like Tina said, because most organizations don't allow, the whole couple thing going on in workplaces. So I'm happy that at least you know where you're at with regards to your feelings. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to feel in love or have feelings for somebody. I wouldn't ask you to sort of put in a bottle and put a tight lid on it and say, oh, no. And in a way, embrace your femininity, go out to him and say, yo,
let's hang out.
Yeah, let's hang out. But you also don't want to come across like, oh, I really like you. So are you up for dinner tonight?
No.
He's probably gonna look at you and go like, yes, madam. And when he says that, oh, yes, madam,
Spotted.
exactly. So it's about how you carry yourself and how you sort of, get the information that you want. And once you do know, at least you know where you're at and you know what you do.
For me, the thing about working with people is that because you tend to spend 8 to 10 hours averagely with them, and this guy is your personal assistant. So maybe the love you have for him, I don't know whether it's appreciation for his work, the way he does his job, that you're excited about, and you would wish to have that kind of a dedicated being as somebody that you'd fall in love with. Sometimes it's just because the guy is doing his work and you're in love with that. So you feel like you're in love with him, but you're not truly, really in love with him. That's one. Two, because he's your assistant, right? He's doing everything to please you, probably to catch your eye for a promotion himself, maybe. You understand? So the moment you start getting onto him, it messes up the whole respect, boss, personal assistant relationship. Most of the time, it becomes ugly. When it starts, it's beautiful. He goes the extra mile for his boss. His boss looks out for him in the office and all of that. But when it gets ugly, if both of you or either one of you are not mature enough, it can actually get really ugly. That's one. So I would think that, and I'm also still very old school when it comes to proposing or wanting to go out with somebody. I don't think the African man is truly prepared, whether we're in the 21st, 22nd, 23rd century, for a woman to actually come onto them and actually ask them out. I would say you can lay subtle hints. You can hang out more. You can, call more. You can just be there for the person and let the person come out and do the whole... Let him make the first move. Just make it easy for him to make that move. The moment you start telling a man, Ghanaian African man, how you truly feel about him, the fact that you care about him a lot more, or you feel like there's some vibe going on, it puts you in a situation where you have to handle whatever he hands down to you, because we're not doing buy. Do you understand? So for me, because I've had an experience where the guy has lived in UK for like the longest time, and when you see the way he behaves, he looks as if he was very, very open-minded. He was hanging out with this girl, Charlie. They hung out nicely, sweetly. The only mistake the girl did was to actually tell the guy that, look, I think that, the way we gel, I kind of like, so what's up? That was the end of their friendship.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
The guy said he felt disrespected, that she had to come and propose to him. Meanwhile, this is a guy, if you see his movement, he looks like somebody who knows what's up. Like, he's been outside for so long,
Right.
so you think that he's more open to things
Yeah.
like that. So sometimes don't be fooled. Yeah, we're in the 21st century, but there are some people that are very much traditional in thinking. So you might start that process and it might backfire. One, either he after a church and home office, I don't want you. Then something happens, he's not happy. You go to HR and say, look, my boss even proposed to me and I said I wouldn't accept it because of that she's victimizing me. You don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
So I would say, wait, take your transfer, promotion transfer, get out. You no more work with him. But still maintain some form of communication with him where you probably hang out once in a while, you check up on each other. Oh, how's business going? How's everything in the office? Start from there. Once you have that communication, he's also going to reciprocate by calling you, oh, Charlie, this morning we had this challenge in the office. How can, like, what can we do? Think so maybe we should meet over a cup of tea or lunch and discuss it. Now, it's very subtle, but you're making yourself indispensable for him. And it's also a test for you, whether truly you are into him. Because when you're out of that space, you're no longer with him 8 to 10 hours in a day, then you can really know whether you really want him or you don't want him, or you were just appreciating him and it's tending to some form of love thing. So I would say that personally, it's not a thing I would recommend, personally. But if the feelings are so strong and you have to, wait, get out of that space and then let your move be very subtle, consistent, and have your eyes set on a goal. It won't happen in a week. Let it be consistent, very subtle. Allow him to make that move. Don't do that move. Once you do that move, everything is taken out of your hands. It becomes very funny for me personally.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I agree. Definitely wait till you're out. Definitely leave all the cues or the hints and let him know that you are interested, and let him make the move. If he's smart enough, he will. If not, he's probably not the guy you want to be with anyway.
Yep.
All right, it's Sister on CCTV and 97.3 City FM. Another message here says, my relationship has gotten boring. I'm really no longer into her. Should I sacrifice my happiness for the success of this relationship? We have a son, but I think I should move out. Advise me.
My question to this is, what relationship is it? Is it marriage, or you're just together and you have a son together? Because if so for me, you don't need a paper to be committed. Once you say that I love you and you're committed, you're in a relationship or a love relationship, you commit to the person, and it comes with sacrifices, right? But if you're no longer into her, you should be asking yourself questions like, what made you attracted in the first place? Do you just come in and out and say that, oh, today I'm interested, tomorrow I'm not interested? Like, people are not just there letting their feelings, or you can't just play with people's feelings. Today you're happy, tomorrow you're not. Then they should just be there. I mean, if you're not interested in her, should you leave? It's a bit dicey for me, because I don't know how serious this relationship is, how many years you guys have been together, what commitment you have towards her. But maybe, I guess, happiness is all that matters to both of you. And if there's no point in staying in a relationship when you're not happy. As for that, like, you can't compromise your freedom, your happiness, your peace, for a relationship that you no longer like. But I would say that before you take that step to move away, find out what has brought about this. You said it's boring. So are there ways that you can bring fire or make something out of it, make it more interesting, have a conversation? Like last week, toys. You don't know. I don't know whether it's sexual, whether it's sometimes relationships plateau, really. And when it plateaus, it's so difficult, because everybody is busy doing what life has brought to them, isn't it? And you don't know how to pick it up. But if it bothers you so much so that you want to leave, then it's something that you need to tackle. So you need to sit her down and say that, okay, let's take it from this point, or what do you think we can do to revive this relationship? If it doesn't work, then it means that, fine, you tried your best, and then you can move on.
Okay.
I like to look at relationships from a marketing point of view.
Okay.
Whereby the introductory stage, you're both excited, you introduce yourself to, hey, Kwesi, I'm Kwesi, I'm you both get together. And then as time goes on, you grow together. And in the growth stage, that's where, like you put a seed in the ground, you go through the dark moments, you go through crazy moments whereby, oh, I'm angry with you. You're both finding yourselves, because you're both two different people coming from two different families. You don't know what to expect, but you're in love. You come together hoping to make it work. So you go through the dark stages, try and find yourself, and then what happens? You grow. When you grow, you get to a point whereby you mature. And at the maturity stage, you realize, just like she said, things plateau. And the maturity stage is where you've gone through after the growth stage, you've gone through all the crazy moments. Now you've found yourselves. You've finally agreed, okay, we're not perfect, but we're going to make it work. So we're like that. So it's during that stage that if you're not careful, you could go into decline. Because during the maturity stage, you find that most organizations, you can have the same product, but they rebrand it. They go back into more advertising, they go back into promotions. It's just to assure and reassure the customer that they exist. And that's the same thing that I think should happen in relationships, whereby, yes, I know you love me, I love you, but what else am I doing to assure you and reassure you that I'm really there for you? So it's not always lovey-dovey, and it's not always perfect. And yes, challenges come along the way, but sometimes I feel like we're not really prepared to do the work. We're ready in a hurry to say, okay, it's not working out anymore. I don't feel butterflies anymore. But how does the other person feel? Are we constantly ready to sacrifice? What else can I do? Yes, I woke up one morning and I don't think I love my wife, but really, what has my wife done? And does my wife really deserve it? It's not always about you. Yes, sometimes we do say be selfish about your happiness, but not when you've gone to collect somebody's daughter or somebody's husband and you've decided that this is what you both want. So if I were you, I will sit back. I will reflect. I'll ask myself, how was my partner like at first? What was so exciting to see her? If it's a man, does he abuse me now? Does he? What are the things he's doing to make me feel uncomfortable? Why don't I love him anymore? So if you sit back and you ask yourself and you realize that, oh, really, this girl hasn't necessarily done anything to deserve the fact that I woke up one morning and I'm no longer in love with her. So what can I do? At least make the effort. I would ask that you make an effort to make it work rather than say, oh, I'm no longer in love, therefore I want to check out. Because believe it or not, it's a cycle. You would get into your next relationship, you wake up one morning, same thing is going to happen. So what are you going to continue doing that, breaking hearts and making women feel like that? So really sit back, reflect, decide that maybe I really want to work on it a bit more. Work on it a bit more, talk a bit more, do things that you guys did before things just went bad. Or, go back to the basics. Go back to the drawing board. What else can I do to make this work? If you do that and she's probably not reciprocal, then maybe it's a conversation to have with her as well and see what you really want again. But for now, I wouldn't advise that you check out. Relationship, marriage is hard work. Make an effort, make it work. It will work.
Okay.
I think that everything of value goes through these phases. Even the job that you do, when you start working, you're excited. Wherever they send you, you go. Whatever you want to, just to make sure to prove to your bosses that you can do the work. Now you do that, a time comes where you just tire out. You probably just, not like you don't like the work, or you still like the work, but it's like your energy levels have gone so low. You're tired, you're probably a bit bored, it feels monotonous. Then at some point in time, something has to tell you, look, this is where I eat from. This is my passion. I'm into this job because I want to create a change here or there. then you pick it up again and then you go. Same thing, even with your families. I mean, you grew up with your siblings. A time comes, you probably even lose touch with each other. You don't even talk much.
Get out of
You just want to get out of the house. You're itching to be on your own. You're itching only for you to get up in your 40s, 50s, and you wish all of you were back in the same house, playing together. The opportunities, like the moments you had when you were kids, you wish you could relive them again. Things like that. So everything goes through these phases. But the thing about committed relationships, because the fact that they have a kid and they're probably together, it means that it's a committed relationship. Right. It's not like they just have a child and they are apart. I mean, it's a committed relationship. The thing about committed relationships is that it doesn't happen by chance. It's by choice.
Right.
You decide that I want to make a life with this person. The person decides that I want to make a life with you. And the person is doing everything okay. The only problem is that you are bored. You see, if the lady is doing the exact same thing she was doing that you fell in love with, and she's still doing that because she feels that that's what makes it tick. Now you've gotten over it and you're bored because we are growing. We are going through phases. So maybe at some point clubbing was an in thing. But now, Charlie, you'd rather have a few friends, probably brainstorm about something, and she's still at that phase. Maybe that's why you're a bit bored with what's going on or her interpretation of how she deals with you. Question is that evaluate the relationship, where you were, where you are now, where you're going to. Secondly, there's a kid. If her attention is to bring up the kid, make sure that, he takes his bath, he goes to school, sleeps on time, and does all these things. And the question is that, and you're not helping, she's probably overwhelmed with childcare and taking care of the home and all of that. So that excitement that should come from her, for now, is not there. It doesn't mean that she's not capable of, but just that she's stressed out. And for you to say you want to check out simply because you are bored. If you want to check out because she's no more the person you married, or she did something very grave like cheating on you, maybe messing with your best friend or doing something like that, it's okay, we'll say, okay, fine, check out. But because you are bored, it's a very selfish reason to say you want to get out. Why don't you find out what is causing the boredom? Evaluate the thing objectively, not to point fingers at her, but look at yourself too. How have you evolved over the time? Maybe there were things you used to do for her, now you don't do anymore. So
your responses
are different. So what can we do? And have that honest conversation with her, because you're in it together. Like, babes, you know what? These days, Charlie, I'm not feeling the fire. You and I used to be inseparable. You and I used to play games. You and I used to do this. What's happening? Then maybe if you're honest enough, open enough to hear the truth, she will tell you that, I'm just tired. It would be nice if you would help me with A, B, C, D, E. Or if we could get an extra, we could probably get a nanny sometime so that maybe the two of us can take off and do this. Or it would be nice if you could do this. Okay, all right, I'll try and do much more. Because, like I said, no woman really enters a relationship and wants to check out. Very few, obviously, because now times are changing. You just want to go get your sperms, have children, and check out because they have what they want. But most women actually want to be married, stay married for the long haul.
Right.
So she would not intentionally do something to piss you off, for you to be bored. So I think you still have a good woman because you haven't complained about her. All you are complaining about is the fact that you're bored. Address it. Yeah. It's not a reason to check out at all. Because real relationships, like you said, it's like a normal curve. It goes straight up like that. And it's a very sharp curve when it goes. Then it starts slowing down, it plateaus. Now, if you are good, when it starts coming down, you identify it. You can easily make it shoot back up. So it just kind of like goes like that, it goes like that, it goes like that. But obviously there's a dip. And every big company in this world has gone through that phase.
Yeah. True.
So it is not something that is new to your relationship. And maybe, I'm sure, you see, and sometimes in this day of social media and all that, when you see people posting, 5 years of marriage and they're so happy, they're excited and they've done this, maybe he's putting pressure on himself. Because maybe at that time, that's how they are feeling. But 6 months before, you don't know what was going on.
True.
You don't know the battles they had to fight. You don't know what bridges they had to cross. But because they had made a decision, ultimately they come off as saying that, it is good. So you feel that yours should be bubbly 24/7. You see, it's just like somebody doing pornography and you wanted to compare it to a normal
Where they've done cut
shoots, and then you are looking at it
for
like
hours.
and you are looking at it like, Charlie, this is how it should be 24/7 for me. That's exactly what's going on. So my brother, just chill.
Yeah.
You have something special. Don't lose it. Wherever you want to go, you'll probably be worse than what you have.
True.
You understand? Especially if there's nothing wrong with the first one. If there was something seriously wrong, I'm sure the three of us here would rally behind you and say, Charlie, Jan Manning. But this is not a Jan and Manning moment, so please.
All right.
Just
chill.
so, sorry, something little about social media. So everybody on social media celebrates their successes.
True.
Or their high moments.
True.
No, you rarely get people telling you their down moments, and even when they share it, they've gone through it.
Right. They're not there anymore.
They are not
You're
there
right.
anymore.
Yeah.
They are
And some
not
of them
in
are
their
getting
low
lambasted.
moments.
Yes.
Yeah. So they are not in the. You
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
find people in their low moments actually live tweeting or telling you that, listen, this is where I am at. So please, when you see people's nice pictures, nice videos with their spouses, partners,
Charlie.
telling you some stories, let me tell you, there's some serious
Storm brewing.
backstory to it. So don't always take what you see on social media. This is just a general,
Solid advice, Charlie.
caution.
Yeah.
Solid.
Because
Yeah, I totally agree. Plus, if you're going to leave a relationship every time you're bored, you won't be able to keep one ever.
Exactly.
Because people change. I mean, every 4 or 5 years, you become a totally different person. Yeah, totally different person, and usually if you're in a relationship, you need to learn to adapt to this other person's new them, if you know what I mean. Otherwise, you'll find yourself out very quickly. Very, very quickly. So, we wish you the best of luck, and we hope that you take a good decision on this one. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, more of your messages right here on Sister Sister. And you're welcome back to Sister Sister. Remember, your comments are welcome on 054-998-6996. Send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com as well. And your messages will get through to the show. So a message here reads, Dear Sisters, I remember when my then fiancé asked for the list for my traditional marriage. I personally took it back and told them to reduce the amounts, and here is why. My father is late, and as custom demands, a successor was chosen to represent him. My father's successor has never sent a coin my way, so I personally did not see how he deserved to get full pieces of cloth, footwear, and money from my husband-to-be. I reduced the amounts all round and topped up my mother's amount. However, my father's successor is refusing to take items and refusing to give my hand in marriage. What do I do? Interesting. The ladies are quiet.
Oh, you see, when it comes to your father, your mother, even your biological father, even if they didn't play a role in your upbringing, it's a spiritual role. You can't change who your father is. It's a different case. You can't change who your father is your father. And if he has been chosen as your spiritual father now, or per traditional demands, he is now representing your father. Even though he hasn't sent a coin your way, at least his importance has come to bear in the fact that he has to give you out in marriage. Now, my thing is that, you see, it's not only the marriage day you have to prove to your mother that she has been there for you all the time. I don't have a problem reducing the amounts all around, reducing the things all around for the ceremony. And later on, the two of you can still go and honor your mother. It's no big deal. But the moment you reduce all the amounts and you top up your mother's amount, you are trying to clearly state to the family, say, me mami huni hear me. You, the man, come to give me out, who hear me. And sometimes these things are just traditional processes that need to be had per our customs, per our legal, whatever, so that you can go ahead with what you want to do. So it wouldn't hurt to just give him, even though you think that you don't need to respect him as your dad or as somebody who has contributed to your life, maybe just allow for him to take whatever amount that has to be taken. Unless, of course, it's hurting your pocket, it's hurting your fiancé's pocket, or it's something that you just can't do. That's a different thing. And even if you feel that because of him, you want to reduce the amount, fair enough. Let's say if it's 200 each, because do your mother's own 200. Do you understand? Just let it be equal across board. So nobody feels like
they're slighted
and feel like, okay, so I'm come to do this for you and you don't appreciate that I'm come to give you away, to show that you're coming from a home where there's a father or a father figure to give you out. If you can't place value on that, then I'm not accepting it. You understand? So sometimes I think we give ourselves too much wahala. When it comes to the traditional setting, there are certain things that some you can afford to throw away. Yeah, but others too, you can afford to let it go. If you can afford to let it go, let it go. You see, if it's not something that will eat you, something that will affect your future, something that, just let it go. Because showing your mother that you appreciate her is not a one-time thing. It's not only at the ceremony that you show her. Even in fact, after the ceremony is over, that same day, if you have something else to give to your mother to say thank you, you can equally put an envelope and say, Mommy, I know that what was given at the function was just for the ceremony, but this is extra from us to actually say thank you to you.
And that's really cool.
And that's going smart about it. Yeah. That way you avoid unnecessary headache. You avoid all this, I'll do, I won't do. You avoid all that. So sometimes we just need to be smart. It's not everywhere that you have to stand for your rights and your, Sometimes you just have to allow certain things to happen for your greater joy. You have your traditional marriage, no incidents, everybody is happy. Then you move on to your civil marriage or wedding or whichever marriage it is that you want to do. You and your husband start your life happily ever after. So I think that it was a bit unnecessary to say that reducing the amounts, yes, but to top up your mother's and reduce your father's. And trust you, we are Africans. We place a lot of emphasis on the man in the house. So if you want to show everybody that's the one giving you as your, because those coming in don't know your family skeletons. So if you want to release your family skeletons to even the newbies coming in, that you, the woman, you place more value on your mother and almost nothing on your dad, it doesn't speak well. We have traditional marriages where the one standing for the father cry, the bride has never even met him before. But he's the Busuapini or the oldest surviving person in Accra or wherever it is you are doing the thing, and they're standing for it and they take it. You can even have somebody taking the Akuta Seka. Me, in my case, we are all girls. So if the Akuta Seka has to be taken by a man, for instance, you have some cousin that has never been given you 10 Ghana before, but what can you do about it? So I think that some of these things, let's not stress ourselves too much. Let's just let it go, let the thing happen, and then reducing the amounts, I don't have a problem. But the whole topping up your mother's own.
I agree with Rosina. But you see, in the heat of the moment, sometimes it's not funny. When you have actually experienced that your parents are not around, and then some uncle that has nothing to do with you, but because of tradition, you need to also show that you are from a certain place, you are from a certain background, this is your family. And so they milk the experience. You understand? How can, for instance, I've seen a list where the father's money equals the dowry.
Oh wow!
Is that fair?
No.
So if I'm just saying that when these things come in the heat of the moment, when the woman, let's say you, the child who is the woman, have gone through so many bitter experiences, especially from these same family members, and then now you're moving on to get married, and then they bring all these lists, and you know that even if it won't affect your pockets, it's still money that you can use for something.
Of course, so reduce it.
So it's painful, you see. So I can understand you if you have done all this. But like Rosina said, it's not everywhere that you show your crutchy powers. You can reason with them. So you can just sit down and say, oh, uncle, or can you reduce this one? Because of our expenses, we just want to reduce. And reduce across board, like she said. And continue. Then you can appreciate your mother later. but sometimes shake yourself small. It's okay. It's all right.
Not his fault.
Yeah, it's all right.
Livy.
Some family members are just impossible. They're just annoying. They come from nowhere. They have not contributed to anything in your life. Your parents, your mom and your dad probably went through a lot of crazy stuff to ensure that you get to where you're at. And for some strange reason, maybe your parents are not even available, and then you're put in this situation and all of a sudden. But you see, look at the bigger picture. It's about you. And sometimes holding on to a lot of these things, it sort of takes away your true happiness. So for peace sake, just to add to what the sisters have said, for peace sake, reduce it if you have to. Do whatever it is that you have to. But for peace sake, and to be happy,
do it across board.
Do it across board. Do it so that you can just enjoy your marriage. You can just have like a clean mind. Yes, they were not there. Yes, they should just go with their troubles. But this is your day. You're entitled to be happy. You're entitled to enjoy your day. You're entitled to enjoy your engagement ceremony and your wedding ceremony. So if it's, my dear, given that amount of money, it won't change your destiny. It won't take away from you. Yes, it hurts. But this is Abanasa. This is where you're at. So take a decision, do what you have to do, and just move on and be happy.
And forget about these uncles. They can actually spoil stuff for
they
you.
Can.
Yeah.
They can say they won't do it. And the thing is, the man that you're going to marry, or the family that's coming,
that's what I was coming to say.
The family that's coming, it's a family.
Right.
You understand? They want to meet the elders of the family.
Right.
When this thing is very is very interesting. When you're dating, you don't see the seriousness and the importance of so many things. Immediately it gets to marriage level. Something that seems so simple suddenly becomes like a big deal.
Yes.
Why is it that the woman instead has come to represent your family instead of the man? Like, there are so many things that, no, I won't collect it from you. I will collect it from the older person. If the older person is not coming, then I'm not doing it. If this is not happening, then I'm not doing it. It becomes so difficult. Then you think that everything is working against you for the marriage not to happen. So just let it go.
Just let it go, yeah.
Just let it go and make it
And
work.
sometimes, too, you see, the other family coming here, when they see some of these things, this discourse, and they get in touch with it, maybe at that time, they may be okay with it, but same here, they'll go like, even you don't even respect your father figure. How did we expect you to even respect your own husband? You know, they can make all kinds of funny analogies, all kinds of funny links. So sometimes, you see, once you're getting married, the man is taking you out of your house to his family. So if you have to just forgo certain things just for it to happen, so you can live peacefully and start your life, just do it. Unless, of course, it goes against your very, something that you just can't do. But if it's something you can do, and you see, that is the beginning of the test of marriage. Because you see, if you can handle some of these uncles, aunties, and let things happen, because marriage, like you said, like we all say, you can't expect what's going to happen. You have an agenda, you have an idea, you have plans, you have wishes, how you expect it to go. You have everything on paper, but it may not go as according to what you put on paper. It may go either way, or maybe a mix of things, and you'd have to manage and do with it to make sure you have a peaceful or a successful home, or a livable home for you, your husband, and your kids coming in, if you have some. So I think being able to manage some of these things is actually a true test of how you actually manage your own home. So I think that some of these things, if you can, manenko. Because even sometimes the traditional processes that you go through, you can be somebody who says, I don't believe, let's say in Christianity, for instance. If your family decides that you pray on a Bible,
what will you do?
What will you do? Or vice versa. We will say you're a Christian, into one bushing up. And your opinion decides to pour libation.
What will you do?
What would you do? Even let's say they don't even tell you at the day of the event, then they give you the libation, what will you do? Will you get up from your chair and go and hit it and stop? What can you do? So some of these things, that's why it's a traditional marriage. And a traditional marriage is not you and the man. It's not you and the man. It's two families. So whatever the families believe in is what supersedes whatever is happening. So at the end of the day, finish with that one. At least with the civil one or the church one or the Islamic one or whichever one, you have control of that one.
Right.
So the ones that you have control over, you control as to how it goes or how it doesn't go. And even after the whole marriage thing, your own house, you have control of how you want to, direct your house. So the things that you have control over, you can the ones you don't have control over, don't sweat over it.
Right.
Just chill.
Yeah, if you ask me, it's a small sacrifice to make in the grand scheme of things. There are going to be so many other things that you're going to have to deal with once you get married, when it comes to your partner's family and even your family, and protecting your union. So this shouldn't even be, this is like just...
Prelims.
Yeah, these are just prelims, Charlie. Don't stress too much. But like we said, come to a compromise, let all the, formalities be done and then just move on with your marriage quietly. That's it. It doesn't take anything away from you. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, I'll read a lot more of your messages. But remember, the WhatsApp number is 054-998-6996 or send an email to jessica@cityfmonline.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sister Sister on City TV and 97.3 City FM. I'm here. My name is Jessica. I'm here with Rosina, Tina, and Olivia. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a message here. It says, I'm a lady with a disability. I cannot walk. I've been dating this guy for 2 years. He never goes out with me. He also tells me he loves me and is very sexually active with me. I really do love and care for him. About 4 months ago, my sister told me that she saw my guy at the mall with a lady and 2 kids. Their actions proved to her that she might be his wife. My sister confronted him at the mall and he pretended he didn't know who my sister was.
Hey.
I questioned my boyfriend, who denied ever seeing my sister, and he went on to say that my sister was jealous of our relationship. I confronted my sister angrily. She got upset and stopped talking to me. Right now, I don't know who's telling the truth. Sisters, what do you make of this story?
Hey.
For me, the basis of the relationship is a bit shaky. I could be wrong. The reason why I say this is you're an indoors relationship. He comes, has a good shag with you. He's indoors. Clearly, sex is great because you're not complaining about it. But you're only good for him when it comes to sex. I'm sorry, the fact that you're disabled. This is my opinion.
Use the word intimacy.
Intimacy, whatever. It's still a shag. Anyways, you see, I've seen disabled people in beautiful weddings, beautiful marriages, whereby the man, a lady who is disabled, I think I saw pictures even on Facebook, a lady who was disabled in a wheelchair, this man was so all over her, wheeling her around with the pictures, whatever, let's call it social media, whatever. At the end of the day, he's out there showing his disabled wife off. Do you see what I mean? He's proud of her. He's in a hurry to introduce her. Oh, this is my wife. As in, disability ain't even a problem to this guy. Because one, he's in love with whoever he is, the woman that he's with, and he doesn't care about anything. This guy, he just wants to be hammering you indoors. I bet my last 1 CD in my pocket that you don't even know his father. You don't even know father cries too far. You don't even know his sister or his friends, sisters, brothers, cousins, or even where he lives. No. Everything is wrong with that. When you're in a relationship with somebody who is like, oh, you know what, I can't go out with you today, but you don't worry, we can watch movies in the house. Or they are always, oh, no, let's watch TV today. Or, it's hot today. And they don't want to take you out. It's because, no, you're not good enough for anything besides what they want. That person is just being selfish. It's just being shady. This is where I'm at. Listen, when you're in love, the guy is like, oh, honey, babe, let's go out. Let's do this. Let's go here. Let's go to, even if he can't take you to Dubai, he will take you to Accra Mall.
Hey.
Do you see what I mean?
Where he took the wife and kids.
Exactly. Low budgets, but at least he's showing you up so that at least when he
low budgets. Low budgets.
But at least so that when you bump into his friend, he can confidently introduce you. But he's not doing that. And to be honest, that's the kind of you want to have that conversation with your partner first, even before you go asking your sister, because your sister, then again, is coming from a good place. You never know. Well, we were not there. But my thing is, how did he even react? Is he lying about it? Is he going to change? So this is what I think you could do. From start of your relationship, start asking yourself these questions that I'm talking about today. Okay, let's go out. Do you see what I mean? Let's go out. Who are your friends? I want to know a bit more about yourself. You can do this without necessarily being aggressive or without necessarily being, hey, bring me your phone. I want to check. You can do it in a subtle way and still find your answers. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
But bottom line, you're not a piece of wood to be sort of shelved off away somewhere. You need to start asking questions, but in a tactful way, in a not so aggressive way, so you know where you're at. Because, my dear, listen, I'm sure there's probably somebody out there who's going to love you for you and not bother about the fact that you are disabled. Somebody who is going to treat you 100 more times better. And listen, the fact that you're disabled doesn't mean that that's the end of your life. Listen, there's so much you can do. There's so many opportunities in life. Don't settle for less. For this gangster 2x4 guy, he probably has kids. You don't even know. Ask questions. You have the right to ask questions. Life can be beautiful and you deserve better.
Living.
Okay.
We know.
We get it.
Are you okay?
Okay.
All right.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, everything that you've read out or you've said, the word shady screams out to me.
Absolutely.
Because the lady says, I cannot walk, but it doesn't mean she's immobile.
Exactly.
So she moves around with some kind of aid. So if you are in a loving relationship or you're in a relationship, the first thing or one of the first things that jump out at people is that you want to show the person off.
Right.
Either to close friends, to family, or just go out apart from where your close settings and be out and have a meal, have a chat, see other things, engage in other things. But you don't do anything apart from being indoors and shagging. It's not intimacy.
Indoor games.
Yes.
You see, intimacy.
Indoor games.
When you corrected her, I pained me.
No. The reason why
Intimacy is different.
is because of the time of the
They're
show.
having sex, pure sex.
I know. That's why I said.
Sorry.
That's why I said. It's not because I don't agree. But that is exactly what it is.
Okay, that's
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I'm sorry. Let's go back.
So they're doing it.
And believe it or not, there are some men with fetishes.
Yeah.
That want to indulge with people who
That's what I
cannot
was
move,
going to.
who cannot help themselves, and that is it for him.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
So he's found himself someone, and he can indulge all he wants and tell the lady all that he wants to get what he wants
and leave you in the house and
leave.
go live his life.
Sure.
For me, no sister or brother of yours will be that wicked to come to you and say in your state
Yeah.
Oh.
Not want to see
and
you
say
happy.
and not want to see you happy. If you have a man who is worthy of anything, he or she will encourage you. Your sister will encourage you. So if she's been able to tell you that I met this guy, I met him with this, we cannot validate whether he's married or not. But it definitely looks suspicious.
Right.
Okay. If this guy is not taking you out, he's not introducing you to his friends, he's not telling people about you, and the two of you are I don't know what they call that thing. Where only the two of you know that you are in a relationship.
Secret lover. Secret lovers.
Whatever. Like you are the only. You are in
duoship.
What?
Duoship.
It's a facade. It's not real. So for me, what I want you to, I don't want that. What I want you to do is, please take yourself more seriously. Value yourself. Don't let someone take advantage of you. Let him know that, listen, if you want me or if you want what I want to, okay, sorry. So if you want me enough, what you need to do is to actually show me off. Tell people about our relationship and let me know that, of a truth, we are doing something.
All right.
So, yeah.
Z?
Family, they are very funny people. You see, family, even when you and a sibling don't even talk, or you have loggerheads, or you don't really agree well, you will not stand for a third party to come and disrespect that sibling. So me and Olivia, we are siblings. We may have our own issues because there's some shoe I borrowed from her. She won't give it to me. We are having, but let Tina come and mess with her. I would put Tina in her place because she's family. You understand? We don't choose family, and by things of the fact that we don't choose them, we've grown up with them. There's a natural edge to protect your family member. Sometimes it's almost instinctive. But somebody, you don't stand for a third party to come and do something to her. That's what family is. That's what true family is. So when you have a family member who has done this, who doesn't even have a track record of just telling you false information, who doesn't have a track record for messing up with you, you see, you should be mature enough to not to believe her, but it's information you use to strategize to find out what the real situation is. Now, the fact that immediately you confronted your sister and now you're not talking with your sister, it tells me the kind of person you are. You feel lucky to have a man like that. You feel like if you don't have him, you don't have anybody else. So anything that interferes between you and him, you rather go against that. Okay, so I feel that, look, the man doesn't love you. The man is probably just fulfilling a fetish in his life. And the man is probably bragging about his friends, how he has some disabled lady in the closet that, Charlie, the girl, get legs, but they fit do that
fast.
That's all you are good for. Meanwhile, he has a whole life elsewhere that he's living. And he chose someone who couldn't walk. So the person cannot run and find out what he wants to do. So to cut all the story short, Livy has spoken for 5 hours. You are speaking for 3 hours. My 2-second thing is that, look, my dear, do not even go and find out whether he's married or not. Somebody who is not proud of you to take you out, even in a dating situation, is a no-no for me.
Absolutely.
Charlie, thank you.
Great. Yes, I agree with all my sisters. That relationship is shady. I think you should believe your sister and take a decision based on that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. This is where we end the show. Time is up already. But we'll be back same time next week with your favorite talk show once again. Don't forget to like our page on Facebook at Sister Sister Live. Look for us. Or send an email ahead of time to jessica@cityfmonline.com. Thanks for watching. Thank you, ladies, for your time as well. And good night. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite City TV. Now, don't forget, if you want some more exciting content, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We call it the City Tube. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications for fresh updates.